One Tonne Live is presented by Vattenfall, Volvo and a-hus. After 6 months, we've come to the end of the One Tonne Live project. Today, the monitoring equipment will be switched off. Andreas Carlgren, Sweden's Environment Minister, will be the person who officially switches off the Energy Watch system. How thrilling to be here. Welcome. I'd like Jonathan to escort the minister into the house. Chalmers' final report will come in a few weeks' time, but we already more or less know the end result. The family initiated the project with about 7 tons of CO2 per person per year. With new technology, expertise and coaching, the family were able to live a comfortable 3-ton life. The family were able to reach 1.5 tons by leaving their comfort level and living a vegan lifestyle. So how do the people behind One Tonne Live summarize the project?
This is something that you can't do on your own. You need to do it across industries and cross branches. And I think this is an excellent example of that, where Volvo, a-hus and Vattenfall have worked together on grasping the big challenge that we have to have a sustainable society. And this one is showing that it is not as difficult as you would think. And we have today's technology will bring us a long way. With additional information, we can change behaviors. So I'm not that worried about the future. We already here and now can make a difference, and just guess what we can do in 10, 20, 15 years' time.
We're very, very pleased. This is an experimental workshop, you can say, for us. We have seen how we have put a modern electric car in a modern family, and we can see that it actually works for the family. We can meet their transport needs, and they're very pleased. And also the technology has worked out very well.
We thought things when we went into this project that has been confirmed to us, that you can eat climate smart and be healthy and use your normal budget. That was very good to get that those thoughts more or less locked in for us.
The market is in a phase where environmental questions and energy questions are very important, and we have to spread that information to the society and to show them that it's possible. It's possible to live in a climate-friendly way, it's possible to live in an energy-efficient way, and to lower your carbon dioxide footprint.
This is an excellent example, a good way to demonstrate that personal responsibility plays a major role, but that even that isn't quite enough. Our entire society must be on board, helping out. This means political decisions that show you in your wallet that the principles you believe in actually do help save the environment. Everything has to be measured and monitored. This is what is known as Energy Watch. This is what the family have been so closely tied to. It's a bit like having a pet at home. The One Tonne Live project was created to answer this question. Can today's technology and expertise, allied to behavioral changes, lead to a One Tonne Live lifestyle today? What has the project taught us? It's not possible to drop to 1 ton solely through lifestyle changes. Instead, it's vital that society as a whole adjusts accordingly. For instance, by producing electricity differently, producing our goods differently. These are things over which the individual consumer has no control, but that the relevant companies certainly do.
Internally, we have learned a lot that we can give more information to our dealers and to our sales staff, that with the right products and the right information, we can do a lot. So we will do a lot internally with this information.
One learning is that we will continue this now. Now we are putting the car into a larger test fleet. We will try it with more people and with more families. And we have a solid base for that now, and we have taken out a lot of learnings.
We have learned that you need information, good information, to make the right choices. Not only that you point fingers to people and say you should do this without explanations. You need to explain why you should take a move, and then people will do those moves.
We'll be putting our know-how to use in many ways. For instance, when we work with cities, an important target group for us, helping municipalities reach their environmental targets. We can apply the experience we gained from the One Tonne Live project.
Concrete examples which show that people can live in a nice way with fairly sort of good material standard of living are important because it will lower the opposition to such policy instruments that are needed. So to the extent that this project can help to make it seem less scary to do something about the climate problem, I think it can have a pretty important impact.
We use financial controls to shape everything from the super green cashback car scheme, if you buy the very best, most environmentally favorable type of car, to the use of carbon dioxide taxes that increase incrementally, so it becomes a bit more expensive for you to produce higher climate impacting emissions. You can also see in terms of what you do regarding energy costs. You can save a lot even today by using less energy, but you have to have a good way of monitoring this. In other words, you have to have a reliable way of obtaining feedback on what you've accomplished. The Lindells are probably the family who know most in the world about what it's like to live climate smart. So what have they learned from the project? We've learned a number of things over the past 6 months. I feel the project has truly opened our eyes to the fact that there's so much more to learn. That's something we want to continue doing. I'll definitely be taking on board everything I've learned about food, for instance. I had no idea food made such a massive difference. People tend to throw away so much, and this has a seriously negative climate impact. And then there's the choice of food. That makes a big difference to the environment via carbon dioxide emissions. That's something we'll definitely change. In fact, we have already, and we will change more in the future. The same goes for transport. It's actually easier than I thought to carpool and plan. There's a kind of psychological block. I couldn't consider returning to my previous lifestyle. We'll be continuing.
The climate issue is very important. There is a need to change because the planet is heating up. CO footprint is very important, and it's very connected to the way we live.
I think the schools should focus more on subjects that spotlight what is environmentally friendly, so that we know more about it. Today we study the environment, but not very in-depth. We need to look more at what the individual can do so that school kids can learn for the future. If it's up to us to save the Earth, then we kids need to know more about it.
Om vi ändå ska rädda jorden så bör vi ungdomarna veta det.
Everybody can live a climate smart life. If you have the knowledge and information, it's pretty easy to make the right choices. And you don't have to have all this fancy technology to make a difference. You as a everyday person can make a big difference. And it's all this little thing that together adds up and make a big difference.
Eat smarter, commute and travel smarter, and live smarter in smarter houses. This will make a big change.
This is the official ceremony to switch off the system, and that's happening now. Reaching the politically set goal of reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 40% before 2020 is not an unreasonable target. The Tonne Life project demonstrates that with today's technology, we can easily cut our CO2 emissions by 60% and our energy consumption by 80%. So what does all this mean for the future? We simply have to be at the very forefront. Sweden is in an excellent position because we have so much know-how, excellent technologies and dedicated people. It's also good that we have some tough challenges such as our cold winters, because this means that many people around the world will be impressed by our achievements and see Sweden as a showcase where the future is emerging. Although Energy Watch was switched off today, this does not mean that this series of programs has ended. In the next episode, the family will return home and we'll get to hear more about their personal conclusions and their thoughts on the project. See you then!